Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Joining us for CVM News at noon. It's Thursday, March 26, 2026. I'm Amoy Harriet. We begin this afternoon with news that a team of security officers narrowly escaped injury this morning after a utility pole collapsed onto their vehicle in Hopewell, Hanover. Reports indicate that shortly after 9:45, the officers had pulled up near the Hopewell Library Plaza when a passing trailer truck became entangled in overhead cables, tearing down a Jamaica Public Service utility pole. The pole fell onto the vehicle. None of the occupants were seriously hurt. Now, emergency teams from the Hopewell Police and the Lucy Fire Department responded quickly and removed the obstruction from the roadway. The Jamaica Public Service Company has since been notified. Meanwhile, residents say this is the second such incident in the area within a month and are calling for urgent inspections, noting that the poles may have been weakened by previous storm activity. The youth arm of the opposition People's National Party, the PNP Patriots, is calling for an urgent investigation into what it says are serious allegations involving Central Kingston Member of Parliament and Government Minister Donovan Williams. The group is urging both the Major Organised Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency MOCA and the Integrity Commission to launch what it describes as an immediate and comprehensive probe. The allegations were raised by Councillor for the Raytown Division Rosalie Hamilton and reportedly center on issues of alleged financial misconduct and the possible abuse of political authority. General Secretary of the Patriots, Devel Grant, says the matter goes beyond political infighting and speaks directly to public trust and accountability.
Jamaicans and the people of Central Kingston in particular deserve clarity and accountability from their elected representatives. These allegations are deeply troubling, and failing to address them will only erode public confidence in our institutions. We urge MOCA and the Integrity Commission to act swiftly and independently to uncover the facts. This cannot be dismissed as just political theatre or an internal power struggle. If true, these claims point to serious breaches of trust and potential misconduct in public office. If false, that too must be established transparently. Either way, the country deserves the truth.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Security says it's now moving to address challenges faced by beneficiaries of the government's ROOFs program who have had to travel long distances to access the funds. Minister of Labour and Social Security Colonel Charles Jr. says he's aware of the request for persons to leave their parishes to access the cash grants under the program.
Yes, it has come to my attention that beneficiaries have received texts that have asked for them to go outside of their communities, sometimes outside of their parish, in order for them to redeem the cash grants. And this is not something that we intended for our beneficiaries. It's not something that we find to be convenient or practical. And so we have moved to quickly have dialogue with the program's payment service provider to expand the number of available collection outlets across the parishes and to make sure that we can reduce the pain on the persons who are already recovering from this hardship.
We need help too. The cry from Ganja farmers in Westmoreland who say despite being licensed by the government, they've been left struggling in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, noting that other farmers have received government assistance. Now, almost 5 months after the storm, the farmers in Orange Hill say Melissa wiped out acres of crops, dealing a devastating blow to their livelihoods, and restarting has been almost impossible. Still, the farmers say they're leaning on each other to rebuild.
Man, we are coping very good because we are united where we are here. So we united because where I live here, we had no crimes here. It's a crime-free area. You can check it on the record. We haven't have no crime here, so we live pretty good like one big families. You know, all we need to see is the people get back on track. So we don't say we don't suffer. We suffer a little, but there's other people who we concerned about, like the people from Darlistan, from Belmont, White House, going in Black River, St. Elizabeth. These were the people we are very concerned about because they were the badly hit people.
The special consumption tax on sugary drinks has been one of the major talking points coming out of the just concluded budget debates. The tax is projected to generate 10.1 billion Jamaican dollars annually, but the move was met with strong resistance from industry stakeholders who argued that the structure unfairly penalized manufacturers regardless of actual sugar content. But now stakeholders are breathing a sigh of relief following an announced redesign of the tax. Now, instead of being based on volume, the tax will now be calculated at 22 cents per gram of added sugar, meaning beverages with no added sugar will attract no tax, while those with higher sugar content will be taxed more heavily. Implementation has also been delayed from April 1 to May 1, giving both manufacturers and Tax Administration Jamaica additional time to prepare. President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Catherine Silvera, says the revised approach addresses the association's main concern, aligning taxation more closely with actual sugar content rather than product volume.
It's a tax being calculated on a per gram basis of added sugar. And so what that means is it's proportionate based on the grams of sugar, and it was introduced as really a health tax or a sin tax because Jamaicans on a whole are, becoming more obese, becoming more diabetic, having a lot more NCDs, and really weighing down the health sector and contributing to a number of doctors' visits, a number of medications under the NHF. And this, I think, addresses that, because if it is, let's say, a soda probably has a higher range of sugar, let's say between 40 to 60 grams. You're talking about maybe a 500 ml. This tax would now maybe add $14 to that soda, whereas maybe a lower flavored water beverage, let's say, that has some added sugar, that might be around 5 to 10 grams of sugar, that's only adding on, let's say, a little over $2 in tax.
Now, illegal advertising signage continues to clutter major roadways across the corporate area, raising safety and governance concerns. Now, while laws exist to regulate outdoor advertising, CEO of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, Robert Hill, admits enforcement remains constrained by limited resources and a growing number of violators.
The enforcement against illegally placed or illicitly placed signs or misplaced signs, posters, whatever you want to call it, it clutters the city. What we have been doing is to bring harder enforcement on these locations based on the regulations under the Town and Country Planning Act, as well as the control of advertising regulations in these spaces.
It's time now for a break, but stay with us. More when we come back.
Is fast, easy easy, flexible, and costs less. Oh, entrepreneurs, let's go digital! The government of Jamaica and the European Union present Digital Jamaica Training Series. Learn how technology grows your business. Choose the right digital tools. Manage your staff, customers, and money digitally. Data security and privacy. Artificial intelligence. We'll be in every parish. Apply online. www.jbdc.net. Log on fast. Digital Jamaica. Powering connectivity for MSMEs.
Can you do this?
Welcome back. We are continuing the news. The United Nations General Assembly has voted to declare the enslavement of Africans during the transatlantic slave trade as, quote, the gravest crime against humanity. The resolution put forward by Ghana also calls on countries to consider apologies and reparations. It passed with 123 votes in favor, while the United States, Israel, and Argentina voted against. Several others, including the United Kingdom, abstained. Now, the measure is not legally binding, but carries global significance. Later on in CVM News at 7, we hear from local experts on what this means for the Caribbean. Jamaica is to get a further boost to fight crime as a partnership between Jamaica and a company from Ireland is set to help the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency track criminals. Speaking with CVM News, newly minted ambassador to Jamaica from the Republic of Ireland, John Concannon, detailed the move set to take effect this summer.
The United States?
Certainly. This is with MOCA, and it's in the area of technology, using artificial intelligence to help the whole area of major crimes unit. And it's a partnership between the Jamaican government and the American government, whereby they're using the best of technology to bring all of the data sources they have together to look to see, okay, how can they identify trends using artificial intelligence. We met with the team of the Jamaican government today, extremely impressive people, and they've been through a long process and identified the company in Galway, which is actually where I'm from myself, in the west of Ireland, called Siren, and now they're engaged on building the software, and it will go live later in the summer with a company from the United States, and also enabled through a partnership with the United States government. So it's very, very positive.
Yeah, a whole significant...
For an update now on Wednesday's scare at a call center in downtown Kingston, which resulted in several employees being rushed to hospital after reportedly coming into contact with a chemical inside the building. Our newsroom spoke with Senior Superintendent Patrick Gooden of the Kingston and St. Andrew Division of the Jamaica Fire Brigade.
Our last assessment at approximately 9:30 this morning, coming out of yesterday's occurrence at 153 Orange Street, which is Fusion BPO, the brigade would have recognized that the odor that was affecting the facility yesterday no longer exists, and so the premises was deemed safe for occupancy. We can safely say that the premises is in full activation, and all members of staff who were supposed to be on duty today are on duty with no signs, no symptoms of being affected.
Now, Superintendent Gooden expounded on the cause.
Concluded that the substance is a concrete bonding agent that was being used to secure carpet, to replace carpet on the premises. And it would have been identified as the source of the discomfort to the members of staff who were affected yesterday.
What's the recommendation, therefore, to the persons who are applying it? Because I'm sure they have been using it before, or they will be using it again.
All right, so the recommendation is that the space must be evacuated, must be properly ventilated, and allow for sufficient time for all the fumes to be ventilated from the premises before any permission is given for occupancy. So that is the recommendation, and that is what we did yesterday.
The re-examination of the prosecution's 17th witness in the Klansman gang trial commenced on Wednesday in the Supreme Court as the prosecution sought to clarify key issues raised on a cross-examination in relation to the murder of William Christian. Carla Ramdeen was in court and now reports.
During re-examination, the prosecution's 17th witness, a detective sergeant, was asked to clarify matters arising out of cross-examination. The witness, during cross-examination, told the court he had removed and secured a bag at the crime scene where William Christian was shot before the arrival of a detective corporal. When asked by the prosecution if he had secured anything else prior to the detective corporal's arrival, he responded no. Further, in re-examination arising from answers given in cross-examination, the witness agreed that one of the Crown's star witnesses gave a statement under a pseudonym, but said he did not know why it was used. Based on that response, the witness was asked, in light of his 25 years of experience as a detective, the usual reasons for statements being recorded under pseudonyms. An objection was raised on the grounds that the question invited speculation and that there was no foundation. The prosecution argued that the question was intended to clarify standard procedures within the JCF, particularly as the issue arose during cross-examination. The judge permitted the question. The witness explained that pseudonyms are used to protect a person's identity and that a pseudonym is chosen by the officer recording the statement and the individual. The witness was then asked whether one of the star witnesses had been charged with murder of William Christian when he visited the Central Village Police Station on November 27, 2020. The defense objected, arguing that this line of questioning should have been addressed during examination in chief and not now when the defense does not have the opportunity to respond. The judge allowed the question. The witness told the court that the star witness was not charged with murder in relation to the matter. The matter is set to resume on Thursday, March 26, 2026. Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
We go now to a CVM News follow-up. Despite warnings from the National Solid Waste Management Authority, unscrupulous persons continue to improperly dispose their garbage beside signs clearly marked "No Dumping." Not only is the habit violating the anti-litter law, but stakeholders argue it sends the wrong message about the country's status on the environment. Curlin Brown reports.
It's as if the signs posted along most roadways say one thing but mean the opposite, as they are being totally ignored. Huanan Avenue, Kingston 20, is a known mini dump site being monitored.
From the sign, look at this now. This is the main area where we understand persons just use this up to throw anything they want. And the residents are not happy.
I try to get a guy to cut it and clean it, but them just throw everything out.
No matter what you do.
I get a little bit easier, I put up the chain right here, but them still are throwing at the gully. I come down here, I talk to them and count this out here. Something I go through them.
So you actually see persons?
Yes.
And what do you say to them and what do they say?
My place is a public place.
Wow. Have you ever reported anyone?
Well, no.
The businessman says he has had to prove he is a victim and not a perpetrator.
Like this now, somebody just probably cut the trees and just decide to say,
yeah man, that's the regular stuff right here. There's a thing with them from right here and we're having that issue with them.
With they throw it in the gully there, so?
I want to do because they a lot of dead animals.
This is horrible.
The camera right here, so them knock it down.
They knock it down. Not only is there a stench, oh my God, but it seems to be hidden, but it's in plain sight. Oh my God, for all to see. And yet people live around here. Just look at this. Oh, it's wrong what I'm trying to do, but I need to show and tell you what's happening here along Huanan Avenue. This is Kingston, Jamaica. It's interesting that once we're at the locations where things are happening, persons are willing to talk to us. We see a lady passing by. Listen, a few weeks ago we were out here, just a week ago actually, and we saw beds, we saw toilet?
Basically, they just come here and it's at a dumping site.
I see that it's clear today. Are you hoping this will be maintained?
Yes, I have hope for it for years, but there's been no
steady improvement because as soon as it's cleaned up, the people then come back.
Yes, it's because of the location and no proper management in the area. So we have our MP who comes by and ensure that it's being cleaned up. However, we would like to see proper implementations in the terms of, probably a security system where, we have persons supervising and ensuring that there's no dumping and no loitering.
Is that really practical though, just to post a security when the people ought to be doing this for themselves?
Well,
we don't need a security. We're gonna pay them.
Yeah. That's true. Or probably like a gating system, where, it shuts off at a certain times, reopen at a certain times, because normally the dumping happen at late nights.
We're back at one of the locations we showed you also a week ago, Waltham Park Road. This area was cleaned after we showed you that report. But look at what's happening. Persons